What's up, everybody? Once again, it is I, James, coming to you from the Nerdy Musing Podcast Studio. I am joined today, all the way from Greece. Miss DaNi is here with us. How you doing, DaNi?
Hello.
You
I'm
doing
great.
good?
How are you?
I'm doing good. It's a lot later there than it is here.
It is. It's 9 o'clock in the evening, but it's an early night for a Greek person
There
to
you
be.
go. Are you
Yeah.
the stereotypical, like, nighttime, stay up late drawing and creating type of person?
I I go through phases, I think. I used to enjoy working at night a lot more, but I think as I'm growing older, I don't enjoy it that much. I prefer
Yeah,
if going to be a late night. I prefer going outside for drinks and having fun, not staying late and working.
yeah.
Although I don't have a problem waking up really early, like really
Okay.
early, 4 o'clock in the
Oh,
morning
man.
to work. And I think I prefer having a good night's sleep and waking up super early and working those early hours. If it's
Okay.
we're talking about nighttime, and then have a morning nap and then like work again for a little bit, and that's the day. But
I like
I'm
it.
trying to keep the 9 to 5 or 9 to 3.
Hmm.
It's better, my
Keep
best
yourself
day.
on somewhat of a schedule.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm right there with you other than the being able to get up super early part. That's a struggle for me. I stay up late and then I have trouble getting up early.
that's the thing. If you sleep early, it's like
Yeah.
you're gonna wake up on your own. I hate alarm clocks,
Oh,
so
I do too.
unless it's a flight or something really urgent that I need to attend, I I prefer not to use an alarm clock.
Yeah. It's so startling, isn't it? The alarm is like every time it
I
gets
hate
the
it.
heart racing and you're
Yeah.
anticipating that it's going to go off.
And it's like it could be those last 10 minutes of sleep that could really make a
I
difference,
know.
and cutting them off is, but okay, not anyone can do it. So it's a privilege, not working
Yeah.
from home and making your
Working
own schedule.
Yeah, working for ourselves, we're very blessed in that regard because I go teach and sometimes I come home, take a nap, like be refreshed for all the evening classes. Like having the ability to set your own schedule really is a true blessing sometimes.
Are you a big napper?
I do love naps. Sometimes
Mm.
I have trouble taking naps, but I try to squeeze a nap in to be refreshed because I teach and I train so much, So, and you were talking about a little bit how the late nights is not the same when you start to get older. And I'm very
How
much
old are you?
noticing I'll be 49 this year,
What month?
October.
You still have
Yeah.
time.
I still have time. Yeah, but after 45, it changes a lot. The recovery
Okay. I
changes a
mean,
lot.
after 30, it's a first milestone, and
Yeah.
I guess 45.
Yeah. After
Yeah.
45, my friends were telling me it's going to be a big difference, and they weren't lying. Yeah.
Well,
Something to
naps
look
make a
forward to.
difference.
Naps help a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love napping. I can do it. It's so easy for me. I can sleep anywhere
Yeah.
and instantly. It's my favorite thing. And I can sleep
Yeah.
for 5 minutes and
Feel
wake up
completely
refreshed.
refreshed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beneficial, especially for creativity, like recharging the batteries, like getting your
Mhm.
mind right. So I wanted to talk a little bit about your early beginnings of your career. Did you start more like in fine arts with sculpting and stuff like that?
That's what I studied, but I never practiced it uh, professionally or more, you know, it was like in general, I think. university was like a hobby for me. I just wanted to do it. Also, in Greece, it's considered like going to university is something that you do, at least at the point that at that time I was going to university.
Okay.
So it was expected from me to go. Also, it's most of the universities are public.
Okay.
So you're supposed to go to university. You go through exams from school. Now things are changing, though. We have more private universities, and everything is more privatized. But so my parents were like, okay, I knew I wanted to do comics, and the closest thing I could find was fine arts. And in school, when I went there, the first year I spent it mostly going through courses and seeing what I like. And it wasn't my main thing was painting.
Right.
And sculpture was it was like a side thing that you could choose, like a choice. You had a choice anyway for your side. But I liked it more. And the second year I took it as the main course. And fine arts is 5 years in
Wow.
Greece.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 more years I could be a doctor. And yeah, so I just kept it in university. I really liked it. My professor was really good. We had a really, really good relationship. And in the end, because I had already started working in comics. I had my first job for 2018 then, and I was doing my self-published stuff. And he knew, my professor, that I was doing this, and I was also making clothes for pole dancing.
Oh, okay. Sewing. Yeah.
That's my sister is a pole dancer, and she
Okay.
had a studio, so I was making her outfits, and then her students wanted, and we did like a project.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
My mom was a seamstress for many years. Yeah.
And it's very useful.
My mom
Very
used to
useful. You
make
can do
outfits for people that show horses. So the outfits
that.
that the riders of the horses would
Okay.
wear, my
Yeah.
mom would design and do that. She was one of the biggest in the industry at one time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very niche.
Yeah, very niche. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
whole world people don't know about.
Yeah. Amazing.
So you were
I love
creating,
horses. I used to do horseback riding when I was up until I was 12, and I
oh,
really
cool.
liked horses. Mm.
So you were doing
Uh,
some seamstress stuff, doing some sewing for your sister's
yes,
studio.
yes, and we ended up, because my main in the end of the university, you need to show, like, have your big exhibition to take your degree.
Right.
So we combined the sewing thing, the clothes, with the comics, because what my self-published stuff, it's called Tales from the Streets.
Okay.
It was 4 issues. The last issue is something like a werewolf. It was chupacabras
Yes.
with versus strippers. So we printed the pages, and it was like, the idea was, okay, bringing the characters to life through the clothes. So I brought my sister, and she danced also, and she was wearing the clothes. It was fun. It was,
That's so unique.
yeah. I
I
mean,
was
I
gonna
passed. I got my degree. It's
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that came up, because I was going to ask you kind of how you came up with the name of your website and your online presence and everything. So it looks like it's all connected in a way.
Yeah, it was all connected, but back then, Strips is not my name.
Yeah.
It's not my last name. But because Actually, I always used just DaNi.
Yeah.
And I when I made my Instagram account back then, they wouldn't like just DaNi wasn't enough. And so I just added DaNi strips
There you go.
because I was making strips.
Yeah.
Yes. So many people think it's my name, but it's not.
Comic
DaNi is not even my
strips.
name.
Yeah. Comic strips and everything, and then the pole
Yeah.
dancing stuff. This is like a double,
Yeah.
what we call a double entendre. It's
Everything
very,
is yes.
very unique. So
Mm.
you knew from an early age that you wanted to be into comics and art?
Eh, I mean, it's the only thing I was good at. I
Okay.
don't know anything else. I can't do anything else. I'm not good at anything. That's the only thing. I'm not even that good, but I can manage
Yeah. So
drawing and fixing stuff with my hands. That's
so
the only
you
thing I
were
can
you
do.
were the kid that was like drawing and sketching all the time, and okay.
Yeah.
And what inspired the direction to go in the direction of comics with that? Were you looking at comics back then? Are comics, I was going to ask, are comics a big part of the culture there? Like, is there a big comic scene in Greece?
Um, okay, Greece is small. It's a
Okay.
small country, but so the scene here looks big,
Right.
but it's actually it's a respectful size considering the country, and it's very. I think it's very rich uh, because we don't have a style. You get many things, and every creator is very different.
Okay.
And because we don't have a lot of publishers, we have some, but they're not that big. And we like the indie scene is huge. It's bigger than publishers. And everyone is making their own thing. And my favorite uh, festival here, it's more like a festival, a Comic Con. It's called Comicdom Con, and it's
Okay.
the longest one. This year it's turning 20 years old.
Oh wow.
Um, but we used to have more. It was another one called Vavel. That it was also a magazine, and I mean the magazines that I was reading growing up were anthologies of European and local comic book creators. And so there is a scene, and there was always there a scene. We also have a huge political comic
Oh,
scene. Like
interesting.
it's, but I think European magazines and European comics and everything related is more. It's either it's a lot of political comics, a lot of erotic comics,
Okay.
horror. Wow. Yes,
Right.
we have. It's a this kind of thing. So I was always reading, um, and I actually started drawing comics because some stories I didn't like how they would end, and as a kid I would redraw them in the end. So I got what I wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, how
That's
did you read comics as a kid?
oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh
comics
yeah,
were a big part of my life. Yeah. And I
like
wasn't sure there like how, so here comics was kind of looked at like something that's not a serious field to get into, like especially back then. So I'm always interested when people are in different parts of the world, like if it's considered like a valid occupation, and it's something that's supported in all of this.
here it's not. It's not even now. It's not support. It's not
Okay.
considered something great. They just people now know what it is.
Right.
people outside of the scene. I mean, in France it's big, and in Belgium I feel it's more integrated in the culture
Yeah.
than here. In
Yeah, it
Italy
was.
also, but France and Belgium are, I think it's the most in Europe that.
Yeah, I was just recording with Matteo the other day, and he was saying in Italy, like there was tons of actual comic book schools, like several
Mm,
schools you could go to, like college for comic books, and so I always find it interesting when the culture, like, because here we had one comic book school, the Joe Kubert school, and that was
mm,
like where everybody wanted to go back then because it was the only place you could go and get like an actual, degree in creating comics. So I
mm.
think it's cool when I find out there's places that have that level of support for it. But I tend to find that most is more like what you're talking about. It's not taken as seriously.
Yeah. It's the shame of the families.
Right. So, in your journey to developing your skills for drawing comics, it sounds like you were practicing a lot, like, creating your own stories, creating your own endings for the stories that you didn't like how they ended and everything. Were there particular artists that you would look at and try to copy or emulate and try to figure out how they were doing what they were doing?
Yeah, I mean, I copied a lot of people. Um, okay, my first love was Boy. Okay, I love Mike Mignola.
Yeah.
I really didn't believe that I could read something like that when I first touched it. I love David Lapham, Eduardo Rizzo. I mean, all the Argentinians and South Americans. Oh my God. Sergio Topi.
Oh, Topi, yeah.
I fell in love with, and I had okay, once I was traveling with my sister, and we passed through Venice, and I found, and I've said this story many times, that it shaped me. I found it was an old, like an antique store, and they had outside of the shop they had boxes with old. Actually, okay, all these
Oh, you still have
things,
them.
all these here, I got them from there. It's from the 70s and 80s, or horror porn. It's unknown creators. I don't even know who they are. But it's fantastic work. And they were selling these for €1 each. So
Wow.
I took all of them.
Yeah, that
We
you
were
can't
we were there
pass.
with the car, so it was easy to bring back. And these ones also shaped me a lot. Um, but basically, okay, I love strong contrast, black and white, strong lines. It really attracts me instantly. So,
Yeah, it makes sense.
also Charles Burns. Okay,
Yeah.
I adore.
It makes
Um,
sense that you were attracted to Mike Mignola's work then.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shadows, his spot blacks are something to be strived for. Like it looks simple, but it's not simple because it's more about what he's leaving out than what he's putting in.
Mm. Yes, and I love when people do that, because I feel, and I'm trying to do this as well. Um, it's like a game of how much you can leave out and still the image makes sense, and the reader's mind can translate things that are there.
Yeah,
It's
letting the brain
yes,
fill in the
the
gaps,
mind
right?
game.
Yeah. So At what point did you make the decision that you were going to pursue comics like full time? Was it right when you got out of university?
Uh,
Well, you kind of
I
sounds
actually,
like when you were in university, you were already creating.
yes, I got my, I don't remember the exact year because my brain is damaged. I don't remember. I remember birthdays though,
There
for
you
some
go.
reason, but I don't remember my stuff.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, I was still in university when I did my first. I did my first gig. But I didn't start working right away because I remember I did Fins from Race and Front. It was my first thing for 2018. And then a year passed before I got my second job. And at that point, before that, before the 2018 thing, I told myself, okay, you have 1.5 years.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to do, either the pole dancing clothes or the comics. I wanted to do the comics, but at that point, I was making more money from the clothes,
Right.
and I had to have an income at
Hmm.
some point. I mean, I was also a waitress,
Yeah.
and I was working at a bar, and I said, okay, you have this amount of time just to get a hint that you might have a chance in comics. And then that happened with 2008. So I said, okay, that's it. I'm focusing on comics. And a year later, I got my first job for IDW.
Wow.
It was a friend of mine from Greece, Ilias Kyriazis. He was doing the Dark Gently books. And they wanted to do like a box in the end of the book, like small stories about the villains.
Right.
It was like 3-4 pages long. And Ilias showed them, because he's always trying, and I take a great example of him to do the same. He was always trying to bring more people from Grace to comics and show, because he was working in American comics back then. He still does. But he was like from the first ones who did it from Grace. So he was always showing work from people from locals here. And they were trying to find an artist for these short stories. And he showed a number of artists from here, and they said, okay, thankfully they liked my stuff.
Yeah. That's
So that
awesome.
was my second job, yes. And then I met Dan Waters around that time, and we became really close, and we wanted to do something together. And we were talking a lot about the stuff we like, and the films and the music, and now we have so many things in common. We're talking endlessly. And the Coffin Bound happened after that, and then it started running after Coffin
Wow.
Bound. And
So once the momentum picked up, it just kind of
mm,
hasn't stopped ever since, huh?
yeah, I think Coffin Bound was the thing. And it's really special for me, that project. And every time, because we ended up working together on Arkham City as well with Dan. And since Arkham City, we have always it happened this way, that we're working on different projects and we never have the time to do a big book together again.
Yeah.
But we are always talking about booking it, and it's happening at some
Oh,
point. I
awesome.
cannot. I mean, working with Dan is it's not working.
That's great. It's when you find a
Yeah.
creator that you mesh with like that, it has to be so
Mm.
special Because I imagine you're constantly having ideas and sharing, and that idea inspires an idea in him, and back and forth.
Yeah, it's like, and even now, I will, or one of us will see something like an image, sorry, like an image or a song or whatever, anything, a meme,
Yeah.
and we will send it to one another, and it's, oh, that's a character. Oh, that's a story. Yes, let's do that. Let's do the other.
That's so cool.
It's a matter of schedules and time.
Yeah.
Trying to speak it. But
Rewinding just a tiny bit. So I wanted to ask you, when you were trying to break in and get a published work, were you doing it the traditional way and showing your portfolio around, or was it more, did it occur more through these connections that you were making? Like for
well,
the
my
2000
first
AD project, was that you showed your
2008,
portfolio, or?
mm, I was, I had some friends, as I told you, Elias, it's also Michael Dialinas from Greece, and Jan Zurbulias, and they were traveling for conventions abroad. And I said, okay, let's go together. My first convention that I joined, it was Super London Super Comic Con,
Oh, okay.
LSC. And I had my self-published work, my zines. And I was joining at the table, and I had my zines, and a guy passed by, and it was, he said, whose stuff is this? And I said, oh, it's mine. And he said, okay, I'm an editor from 2018.
Oh, wow.
This is my card. If you want, email me. And I didn't realize at the time exactly 2018, editor, what are all these?
Right.
And but he understood and said, okay, look what we're gonna do. Email me. And the first thing, I'll send you some books to read. Yeah, and we'll talk. And a year passed, and then he gave me that work, that short story, and this is how it happened. But with the States, I traveled back then. I would stick along with those guys, my friends, and because they were going to New York Comic Con a lot, and I went there one year, just going around. I had my zines. I would just meet people. I had never been in such a big convention, and seeing all the artists that I love.
It's
I was
crazy.
going around in Artist Alley. I was crazy, crazy. I
Yeah.
didn't know where to go first, and I met many people. But it was great because many of the artists that I admired, I realized how cool they were and how great people.
Yep.
So we started hanging out, and for a couple of years, many people didn't realize that I made comics. I remember, I think Ivan Brandon, when Coffin Bound came out, he said, I didn't realize that you draw. Like, yeah,
Wow.
man, I draw.
Yes, I draw.
Yeah. So I started meeting people and just making friends, and it, it, it was, it
Kind of,
happened.
yeah, it kind of sounds
Yeah.
like more the connections led to it, as well as just the fact that you had your creator owned, or your self published stuff, your zines, that you were able
Mm.
to. I mean, that's like proof of concept that you can do the work, right? That's helpful when
I
people
mean,
are looking.
you always have to do the work first.
Yeah.
You need to show something. But other than that, it's really like I was really lucky that I met Dan. Actually, Caspar Wingard, he introduced us. I
Okay.
think at that SuperCon, the London one, the first one, and after a while we went to Malta for a convention, and I had my zines, and we got together with Dan. I was really lucky that I met Dan. First of all, as a person, he's a very good friend. I love him a lot. And secondly, because our relationship really sparked a lot of creativity and collaboration that I never expected I would get. And so, yes, in that aspect, connections matter, and meeting people, because you might find your own Dan.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's fantastic because you just want to make shit with that person all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when you went to New York, the con there, did you meet Sean and those guys, any of those guys at that
This
con?
year, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, Sean, up close, I met him for the first time this year. I mean, last, it's 26 now,
2025.
2025, yeah.
Yeah.
Jane, we met last year. He came to Greece. So we met there. Mateo, I knew him. Like, he doesn't remember that. Can't.
Oh.
But years ago, he was in Greece, and that's when I saw him for the first time. He was also doing he did like a panel. He showed us how to ink and stuff like that. And after, when I went to New York, I went to see him, like, oh, Mateo Scalera, years ago, you were in Greece.
And
Hello.
he said, "Oh, do you draw?"
Yes. Oh, do you?
I don't remember.
But yes, I mean, because we're neighbors, okay, Greeks and Italians.
Right.
So it was. I feel like in conventions and traveling, you always end up with Greeks, end up with Italians, the Spaniards, Cubans, Irish, a lot. We click a lot with Irish. And South Americans. So, yes, it's fellow Balkans with Esad, a lot, Croatia, and all my Croatian friends.
Yeah. Cons there, I get the impression the scale of the cons is very different compared to here, the size.
Which size?
Like the size of the conventions themselves. Is it, like you said, when you came to a big con here in the US, you were like blown away at the amount of artists and things that were there.
And the amount of people.
Yeah. So it sounds like there it's not as big, right?
It's not that big.
Yeah. More like a festival, like more comic festival.
I have never been to Angoulême though.
Okay.
And people say it's big. And Lucca, people say it's big in Italy, but I haven't been there, so I don't know. And in the States, I've never been to San Diego. Have you been there?
I've been to San Diego one time.
It's
insane. It's insanity. It's crazy. Oh. Yeah,
but it's more. I mean, with films and stuff, it's not only about comic. Yeah.
Yeah, more pop culture, like films, TV. The Artist Alley is huge, at least when I went. I don't know if it's like, I hear some complaints here more recently. I went in like 2016, so it's been quite some time since I went. But even when I went, it was like a lot more like movie stuff and things like that. But the Artist Alley was still crazy, like crazy big. And my prized memory from going was I got to meet Kim Jung-gi and have him draw in one of the books that I purchased from him and watch him draw.
Oh, wow.
So I got to witness
the whole thing.
Yeah, I witnessed him creating in the master creating in person. That's a cherished memory I have.
It is.
Yeah. It's crazy when you go to these conventions and like you were saying, you meet some of these people that you highly respect and look up to their work. And oftentimes we find like they're actually like really nice people too. It's kind of refreshing, isn't it?
It is. And sometimes you,
Yeah.
okay, yes.
Sometimes we have the expression here,
Sometimes
never
you
meet
have
your
the
heroes.
opposite,
Yeah.
like the opposite thing, but not that often. I've
Yeah.
only had once,
I would say that's
one
more
person.
the exception than the norm, right? Like it's
Yeah,
not,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it
No,
does happen though.
people in comics are great. Most like the biggest the biggest share of the people are great.
Yeah.
So, uh, and everyone is so unique,
Yeah,
but
very.
also not. We all share the same quirks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of comics people have cats, for example.
Hey.
That's have you
Okay,
noticed?
how many do you have?
Now one.
Just
I
one.
used to have
Okay.
two. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Um,
Yeah,
do,
we
do you have
so
cats?
yeah.
Yeah. How many?
A lot.
A lot. My
6.
sister has a lot. How many do you have?
6.
6. My sister has 25, but
Oh
it's
my
also her
goodness.
job. Yes.
Yeah. See, I
She's
can't like somebody I once had the dream to like open like a fostering like sanctuary like to help foster
I
them and
should
find
introduce
homes.
you to my sister.
See, but that's hard because I can't. I get too attached. Like
I mean,
two of
again,
ours that we have are what they call a foster fail. We were fostering them, finding homes, and then we kept them.
yeah,
So
that's what my sister does.
yeah,
That's how she ended up. At least, okay, she has a garden, so it's easy. I live in an
right.
apartment. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
apartment limits. The apartment's good in the sense that it limits how many cats you can acquire, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it is
I have,
interesting.
yeah. You live in an apartment or
No, no, we have a house, so there's room, but at 6 is pushing it.
do they
Yeah,
get along or they have cliques?
they
Like
get along incredibly well. It's pretty
all of them.
crazy. All but one. Yeah,
Who is the one?
the one female, she is not. She doesn't like other cats. She likes us. And
Mm-hmm.
so she's closed in my wife and my room and she lives in there. That's like her apartment is our room. And
That's it.
she doesn't want the other cats to come in there. She doesn't want to come out in the rest of the house. We try to force her, but she's not happy about it.
What's
Yeah.
her name?
That her name is Sunny. Yeah.
Sid.
She's an orange and white. Yeah. Super
So
cute.
it's orange on top and white
She's like,
underneath.
think of like a tuxedo cat, like the black with
Okay,
the white, but she's orange with the white.
that's my cat, like that.
Yeah. We have two. Yeah, we got to see. There we
Her
go. Yep.
there. She's an old lady.
Yeah. I
She's
can't let mine in here in the
mhm.
studio because they're several of them are kind of younger and they'll go over there and chew on the comic books. So I can't let them in here. It's
Well,
dangerous.
I have a tour at home. It's a new entry. I have a
Yeah.
small parrot.
A parrot. Wow.
Yeah, a lovebird. Her
Yeah, those
name
are
is
great.
Tequila. Yeah, she came at my house, knocked on my door.
Literally like
Um,
just showed up.
yes, last September.
Wow.
And she likes chewing everything
Oh my goodness.
and making mess in the
Yeah.
bookcase. Yeah.
Yeah, we're I think creative minded people for whatever reason you're right. Like artistic minded people are definitely attracted to cats for whatever reason.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it is one of those stereotypes about artists. I keep
Mhm.
finding it's more and more true every time. I
Yeah.
was like, every
And now
artist
it's
I follow, I see a picture on their social media of their cat. I'm like, ah, you're one of my people.
cat,
I
cats and
wanted to
comics.
talk a little bit about your current comic works, the comics you have in the works, the things that you're doing right now that you're working on. Are you working on? You said you and Dan have something brewing. Is that coming
Yeah, no,
together
we're
soon?
no, it's not going to be soon. But
Okay.
we're always talking about doing things together.
Yeah.
Now I'm working on Batwoman
Nice.
with Greg Rucka. Um, it's going to come out in March, I
Oh,
think,
so
the
pretty
first
soon.
issue.
Next month.
Yeah, yeah. We're just finishing up by issue three, number three. So right on task.
Right on schedule.
Yeah, and it's great because we've been trying to work together for quite a while now. And actually, the first time BC approached me to work was on one of Greg's books, but at the time it didn't have. He had the film work he was doing,
Yeah.
and it couldn't. It didn't happen. So I ended up doing the Low Low Woods with Carmen Maria Machado, and which was I mean, okay, everything happens for a reason in the end
Right.
because that book and the collaboration was great, and I feel like working with Greg now on Batwoman is more and more ready for that now than back then, and I'm having a great time. I still can't believe it because the team is great, the whole thing, and
That's amazing.
so
Now,
that's what I'm working on right now.
do you you ink your own work, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And you like to use
Mm.
a lot of more traditional tools, right? Brushes and
One of the
things.
traditional tools
Yeah.
I I know I use. This is the only thing I use. You can find these everywhere in my house. So
Which one is
it's
this?
like a CD DVD marker.
Yeah.
Everywhere you see, you can find these and pages.
Yeah.
Cannot show you this. It's
Traditional.
new, but yeah. Then I'm really bad with technology. Really bad.
Okay.
So I've tried doing something digital and I feel like I'm working. I cannot do it.
Yeah, it's different. Very different. It
It's
doesn't
a
have the
totally
same
different way.
yeah, the feel, the there's a somewhat of a disconnect and it feels different. So I like the tactile nature of drawing on paper and inking on
Yeah,
paper compared like I've done a little bit digitally like on my iPad. Sometimes I'll ink something on there because there are benefits to the tool, but I still if I had to choose one way to do the rest of my life, it would be
prefer.
traditional.
Yes, it's a totally different feel, and depending on, I mean, you might know. I'm sure you know the feeling. Depending on the tool you use, like the pen,
Mhm.
it kind of changes a bit also.
Definitely.
I mean, I feel that way.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
you said you're about 3 issues in working on this
Mm-hmm.
current book. So, um, have you found like did it take you a couple issues to really find the voice of the character and how you portray her?
I don't know.
Like
Uh,
do you feel that she has become easier for you to draw the further you've gotten in?
for sure, the more you draw something, okay, it's easier for you. But I feel like because we started developing this in summer, early
Okay.
summer, and I think that's every time I develop and I'm into that stage, um, that's when I feel like I'm starting the connection with the characters, because I like making a lot of research and who
Okay.
am I using as reference and what am I doing, and that's the stage that I think I go through that phase,
So you do a
and
lot of
then it's just
lot of pre-planning, like a lot of research, a lot of planning, a lot of sketches of the character.
yes, mood boards. I take a
Yeah.
lot of pictures. Like for Batwoman, I took pictures of a really good friend of mine because I really like her style, her everyday clothes and
Right.
everything. So, also, I feel like for this series, for this book, we wanted to make also a new city, um, because it's Greg wanted to. She thought that okay, let's do it in Europe, and I said okay, I'm from Greece, we can do it in Greece, and so we created a city that it's based in Greece. It's not
Right.
a real city.
Yeah, yeah.
But it has many. I feel like it's also its own character, at least for me, because I've taken a lot of pictures of my neighborhood and many areas, and we're doing like a mashup of things, and it has this is like a different character for me in my head. But because all of the characters, the more like in the beginning I did all these things that I told you I described,
Yeah,
and it's a process.
definitely. Yeah, it sounds
But
like you
yeah, of
came
course, the
in.
more you draw them, the more you get acquainted.
Yeah, but it sounds like you did a lot of preparation, so you maybe got in that zone a little bit ahead of time, and then when you actually started drawing the pages, you had already developed that connection with the character. Whereas some people come in and maybe don't do that, and they're kind of finding the character on the page as they go.
This happens also, though, because many things change a bit. Okay, for example, one character we kind of changed them, but um, you also get to because the new thing that comes in your hands is the scripts.
Right.
So then you know their voice also, the characters' voices and their attitude. Because okay, you have something in mind and you've talked about the characters with everyone in the whole team and you built it with bit, but then you hear what words they use and everything. So it molds stuff,
Yeah, that makes sense.
everything in the process. So it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
Hmm.
combination of all the things. Um,
Hmm.
so what's it like in compared to doing your own work for yourself compared to being on a deadline? Is this something that you work well with? Is it a struggle? Like it sounded to me like you do kind of plan, you schedule your time that you're going to work and all of that. How important has that been in your process for keeping on deadline? Because I mean,
You
you're
know,
working for DC on a big character. They want it to come out on time. That has to be a little bit of pressure.
I mean, look, this is very. I think I haven't worked for Marvel, for example, from the big two.
Right.
My only experience from this level is DC. Um, I feel like they treat their creators very well.
Nice.
Um, first of all, um, like we talked, okay, how much time do you need? Um, it's a very logical and they're very. It's humane. It's humane.
Oh, that's
Everything is very
good.
humane. Yeah, so if something happens, or for example, during fall, both Greg and I were traveling a lot for conventions, so we fell a bit behind, but it was okay. We're still on track. It's fine. Um, Other than that, I think for me personally, if I'm loose out there, it doesn't work that way for
Yeah.
me. Yeah, I don't like being told what to do, but I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's
Sounds like it kind of
it's a
is
delicate,
required.
yeah. So if I have a deadline, it works perfectly for me. I
Yeah.
get stressed, especially the last week, but before delivering. But and this year, ever since I started with this book, I said, okay, I'm not taking any more side project because I always tied it with more things. Yes, let's do this. Yes, let's do that as well. And I end up juggling so many things and
Yeah.
covers and short stories and the main thing and everything. And I get like working
Yeah.
all the time. And I said, no, this year, this book, I'm doing it right. As so on schedule, everything, it works for me.
That's great.
Yeah.
How quickly do you work? How long does it take you to finish a page? Are you a page a day person or a page every couple of days? What's like if you have a goal for yourself, what is
Mm.
your ideal output?
Okay, usually, roughly. Okay, let's say for an issue, 22 pages. The layouts for me are the most hardcore.
Okay,
Because you think a lot, and
definitely.
that's where I get fried. So for a week, 10 days, I get fried on them. I'm really, how do I do this and how do I do that? It gets very detailed and really I get obsessive with that.
Hmm.
And then the actual drawing, um, I I might like my pencils are fast, but I have my days because one day I might not be into that so much and end up doing 2 or 3 pages of pencils.
Yeah,
If I'm in a really like in a spree, but now I don't want to do that because then I know that the next day I cannot do it. I can do 5, 4 pages,
wow.
5, 6 pages, and I'm like, whoa, yes. But then for 1 or 2 days, I'm fried and I cannot work. So it ends up doing the same amount of work that you would do, but you're just fried. So I
Yeah,
try to do 2 to 3 pages per day, and then things depends on how much time I've left until the
right.
So
Yeah,
if I have a bit of space, I will stretch it out. If not, yeah.
nose to
And
the
I also try
grindstone.
not to work during weekends.
Okay.
I prefer working 12, 13 hours on a weekday than working
Yeah.
on weekends.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I would be the
Oh,
same way. Yeah, you have to
yeah.
have that time to recharge on the weekend, I feel.
Yes,
It's
of course. You need
important.
some time to have a hangover after drinking.
Well, as we reach towards the end here, I wanted to give you the opportunity to reiterate anything that you're working on that you are excited to tell people about and let them know what they should be looking for that's coming up.
Batwoman.
Batwoman. That's
Yeah.
the focus. That's the focus right now.
Yes. I mean, okay, it has the first issue is kind of an establishing issue. The second issue is my favorite so far.
Oh,
Has
nice.
so much action. Like every page is like I really enjoy drawing that, and I know that Greg is that kind of guy, and he's writing. the best action. So I'm really happy, and every time I get the script, okay, so what's happening next? Come on, let's do it. And there are so many characters and everything. And I really like drawing it, and I
That's
can't
awesome.
wait to show people more.
I know
Finally,
that's the hard part, right?
yeah,
You can only
yeah,
like little glimpses here and there and keep it
yeah,
secret, right?
yeah. But okay, it's just a month or so. I
We're
think
close.
we're close.
Perfect. And as we wrap up, where are the best places for people to follow you online so they can keep track of all of this and not miss anything that you have coming out?
I'm really bad at promoting stuff. So even if someone follows me, if someone else doesn't post it, so I repost it.
Yeah, yeah.
No, okay. Instagram. Uh, I think it's the best. I also have a page, but I don't update it
Okay. You're
because
too busy working. You're too busy doing the work to be promoting.
no, I'm too lazy. Because I passed a friend, my one of my really good friends. She made the page for me, and
Right.
she's actually willing to update the page and keep up with everything. But I need to send her the material first
Yes.
and tell
Yes.
her what to post. And I haven't done it, and I don't think I would ever do. So,
Well,
so Instagram,
we'll put the
yeah,
Instagram in the description and your
yeah,
website, even though it's not
what?
updated. And
Yeah.
maybe what
But
we
it's a
can
very well
do,
designed site.
yeah.
A very well designed website. She did a
Well,
great
maybe
job.
what we can do is once the book comes out, we'll have you back on, and that will be the way of you getting the word out, right?
Yeah, that's the easiest thing for me. I can talk.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I'd love to have you back on so we can promote it and make sure everybody's getting their hands on it because it sounds like it's going to be a really special book.
Oh, well. And I'm really curious what will you and everyone will say about it.
Yeah, I
Because
can't
we're
wait to.
really enjoying it. And usually every time the creators enjoy what they're doing, people like it also.
Yeah, it comes across in the work usually when it has that passion behind it from the creators.
Mm,
DaNi, thank you so much for being on with me. I know it's late there. I appreciate you staying up a little
nice.
later to
It's late.
facilitate this.
No, thank you so much for having me. It was
My
lovely. Yeah.
Thank you. My absolute pleasure. I hope to have you back on again in the future. Hang out with me here for a moment while I talk to our listeners and viewers. Everybody, make sure you go and order the new Batwoman book that DaNi's doing. It's going to be awesome. Do you happen to know when the FOC is? It's probably soon.
I'm really bad at this.
Okay, I'm just going to say
I hope
go.
they say people don't hear that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
But
just going to tell. It's got to be soon.
usually FOC is like a month before, a
Yeah.
month and something. Yeah.
Probably
So
right now.
it's definitely these days,
Yeah, guys.
So
Make sure you go
go.
out, talk to your local comic book shop, make sure they order it for you. Everybody who's listening, I just really appreciate you guys. I love talking to all the amazing creators we have on. I like getting the show in front of more people's eyes. So if you would be so kind as to like, subscribe, share with a friend, let's just help YouTube know that they should show it to more people. And if you want to give a little extra support to the show, you can head over to patreon.com/nerdymusings. I'm reworking it right now. We are going to have a bunch of extra bonus content that's only available there. And in the meantime, everybody, keep it nerdy.